need traumatic cinematic, bitches.
Check us out, traumaticcinematic.com. Greetings, salutations, internet goers. You are currently listening to the Traumatic Cinematic Show. I am your host, Mugumbo, Louis Kogel, like always. And this is a very special episode, something I'm very excited to bring all of you. We reviewed Frankenstein's Army a couple weeks ago, and it happened to catch the attention of the creator, the visionary, the man behind this amazing, interesting film, Richard Raaphost. Well, he has listened to the show a couple times, and he, when he contacted me and told me how much he liked our show about his movie, I've immediately, naturally asked him, "Whoa, gosh, would you like to come on to the show?" Yes, he said, and here we are. This gentleman is from Holland, so it was an 8-hour time difference, and that was kind of interesting because he was literally in the future, but we made it work. Also, I would like to say thank you to Mr. David Manifesto Gibson and Jason Hewlett for being on that show with me, and our conversations and stuff definitely help spawn these questions that I'll be asking in this interview. Also, Kyle Poling from Blood Sticks and Boom Baths, Bad Sticks and Boomsticks. I think it's Blood Baths and Boomsticks at blogspot.com. Pretty sure that's what it is. But thank you, Kyle. He also kind of threw some questions my way to ask Mr. Raaphost here. We go right into the show, folks. We're going to just drop right in the show with Mr. Raaphost discussing, listening to our show a couple times and how much he enjoyed our brutal honesty. So enjoy, and yeah.
It's so entertaining and so funny, and you guys were so spot on and so right.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to be right. It was just, our opinions. We're nobodies. We're just film or cinephiles. We're film fans.
You're just like me. I'm a cinephile as well. So,
well, excellent. That's part of the interview I'd like to do is I am curious, sir. And I mean, basically, I this interview has begun now because a lot of my questions is just getting to know you as a person, an artist, and now a full-length filmmaker, feature-length. And ladies and gentlemen at home, this is the Traumatic Cinematic Show, and I'm Mugumbo, Louis Kogel, and I'm interviewing the writer or co-writer and director of Frankenstein's Army. Richard Raaphost. Raaphost, is that the correct pronunciation? My American pronunciation can be off. I don't want to pronounce your last name incorrectly.
Yeah. It's we in Holland we say Raaphost.
Raaphost.
Yeah.
Yes, and you are from Holland. My wife is family's German and Swiss, and she said, if he's from Holland, mention windmills and wooden shoes.
Yeah, that's correct. We all wear wooden shoes here, and we also have windmills. No. But the wooden shoes is actually, I think, stopped 20 years ago. There are lots of people really were wearing those things. I personally hate them, but indeed, I prefer the wooden shoes above the other stuff like marijuana and drugs and abortion, legal, whatever. But it's a very nice, peaceful country. Yeah,
I would say so. And I imagine that being from that area, me being American, World War II, it affected our country, it affected the world, but probably not as much as for you being in Europe. I imagine, because that's one of the big questions I'm curious of. And before we get into Frankenstein's Army, I do, which comes out September 10th, 2013, which is just next week. Finally, like an actual proper U.S. release. I rented mine off of Amazon. So, that was the only way I could see it because it never appeared in theaters here. But you, sir, you're an artist at heart, aren't you? From my research, I saw that you're quite famous for some being a storyboard artist or a conceptual artist for a couple movies that I'm a huge fan of. Faust, Dagon. What was it in Dagon that you that you had created? I did look at your personal website where I saw some of your stuff there that you've drawn, some of your drawings and
Well, I was there with Stuart Gordon in Barcelona and I stayed at his apartment. And I was really attached to this project before even Stuart was involved.
Wow.
Because I became friends with Brian Usna, who produced Dagon. And because he was very happy with Faust. And me and Brian, we had both quite a wild imagination. So we decided to do the same with Dagon. But I think, well, I just have been drawing everything for Dagon, but it all got turned down a bit. They thought everything was too crazy. And they just made a more conventional version of everything that I designed. So, you were totally right. What you said earlier, like, we can't do this in the movie. Let's do it this way, We can't have that much tentacles in it. Let's take off a bit,
Well, is that the way it is?
In Dagon.
Being an artist, being an artist
like
with
that.
you don't get the final cut. You don't get the final say. So like they pay you, like we're going to pay you whether or not it's worth it or not. But you're going to do you're going to put a lot of like thought and love and time into these characters, and then they're like, oh, we like this, and this, throw the rest of away, and then, I'm going to draw something, have my kid draw something out and put that in there instead, or whatever. That's got to be tough.
It's the fun that you work on a project is really, it's amazing, it's fantastic, it's inspiring, and, you really get driven and you're swimming in passion, but as soon as you realize that only 20% is being used, it feels like they are, take your arms and legs off. Like you feel like amputated from all your ideas. But at the end, finally you're kind of proud that it's still in there. But it can be very tiring, especially when a director doesn't know what he wants. And you just come up with ideas and ideas and ideas and ideas, and they still don't know what they want, and finally they just choose something very conventional that can be extremely frustrating. And people read it on my face because they see me and they think, let's not ask him again.
Right. Now with Beyond Reanimator, they did use a lot of your drawings, didn't they, for the title sequence?
Yeah, but I did the title sequence entirely myself. And even the music was composed by a friend of mine who also did Frankenstein's Army. Brian just gave me this piece. He said, you have a few minutes for the title sequence, just deliver me something. So we made it all ourselves. Also, we did everything in Adobe After Effects. And I was drawing, a friend of mine was putting it together, and we were spending nights and nights and nights and days. That was really fantastic because it was very, he could just do what we wanted, And Brian just gave me so much respect that he didn't want to interfere with it. So that was really nice.
And they're amazing. Like a lot of the muscles and the anatomy type drawings definitely kind of reminded me of like Leonardo da Vinci's, kind of exploration into anatomy and the human body.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because Da Vinci was one of my biggest inspirations during the School of Art. So what I did, and I went also to the morgue for 2 years, to study all the corpses and to
really?
take the skin off. Yeah, I've done it.
That's awesome.
Years.
Like that. That's it's macabre, but there is being the host of something called Traumatic Cinematic. I've got a love for the macabre. Corpses aren't necessarily macabre, but because that's how we all learned, right? That's how all the books of medicine were written, was by.
And the thing is, when you work with those bodies, they after a while they are not like dead people anymore. It's just a source of material. The same as for Herbert West in Reanimator, it becomes material,
right?
And it's so interesting. I'm so in love with the human anatomy. It's so beautiful crafted. Do you
carry a sketchbook with you at all times?
I'm sorry.
Do you carry a sketchbook with you at all times?
Not so anymore. I used to do it when I was a few years big, but now I draw so much that I'm glad that I don't have to draw.
To get away from it. Well,
to keep away from it.
that's because you're a professional. You've put you've paid your dues, learning the which it's very noticeable. Like that was one thing I really noticed, and I even said in the podcast we did on Frankenstein's Army was that I could tell you were an artist, who also likes to do film, which is way better than being a pro wrestler that likes to do film.
That's true.
We don't have many artists left, sir. It's like a dying breed. Original creative art just doesn't exist like it used to.
I've got a theory for that.
What is it?
It's the internet.
Yes, everything's copy paste.
And you know how it works nowadays is people, when they need to have a design, the first thing they do is Google Images.
Yeah.
And search, and then they copy paste, and then they finally have copy paste something, or they found something that they like and change it a little. That is a dead end. That is just the end of creativity, and that is.
Well, you grew up.
I don't want that.
You obviously were from a time period where we didn't have such a thing, and I did art school or did art while I was in school. Always interested, and
So you're an artist as well. You're an artist.
Well,
too.
Yeah, but as an adult, family and other things became more important in trying to make a living. It's not easy to be an artist and make a living.
But that's why you understand.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Nothing would have made me happier. And I feel like with my podcast and doing the website like that, that's my creative outlet now. As
also,
a father
that's why you hit the nail on the head in that. Now it all comes together for me.
Well, because I'm not trying to be an investigative reporter. I'm trying to find things that others might not appreciate for the right reasons. And I like the horror or the odd, the Nazi exploitation is, not just Nazi exploitation, but anybody that would find Nazi exploitation interesting is somebody I'd get along with, is somebody I would be able to talk to, which you are, sir. Okay, so what past interests? Like, what did you, when you grew up, what kind of things, what do you love? Well, like if we looked at your DVD collection or your Blu-ray collection or what would we see?
Well, but when I was a kid, I was totally in love with The Empire Strikes Back. Totally.
Yeah.
I was dreaming about puppets, about spaceships. I was dreaming about to have everything in my collection. That was really what drove me as a child. And I was making drawings. And I wanted to make the biggest drawing of the world. I wanted to be in the Guinness Book of Records with a drawing. I don't remember how many Ks it has to be. But those two were my goals. Very simple.
How close did you do it?
Yeah, I did it, but I was already beaten 2 weeks after or so.
Oh, but hey, you know what? You did it. You did it. You are the second.
And then I threw it away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
wow.
I've been working on this for I think 5 years or something.
And so, somebody else got wind, or they also had the same idea, which happens. It's even worse now.
Yeah, and now I don't know. It was, I think, 7 kilometers or something like that. That length. It was a huge roll, But
wow!
I was not be able to look at the beginning anymore because then I have to roll it all.
Did you make the news? Did you make your local news and stuff with it, like as you were doing it?
No. But I have some pictures, so I can prove it.
Oh, well, I believe
picture
you.
Where I sitting there as a child on the ground with this massive roll of paper next to me and just a little piece.
Wow, that is
rolled out, and I'm started to coloring it in.
That's an amazing little biography fact. That is awesome. Like that, I bet on a microfiche somewhere there's news articles of it. There's got to be somebody had to document that at some point in time. Nowadays, you can't do anything like that in today's day and age without like it being viral on YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's also the disease. It's disease, but
it is kind of a disease.
Everything is available.
At the double click of a button. For free too, if you want to steal it, which is horrible. And folks, that's why you should.
I've downloaded my own movie.
That's. But you know what? There's something to be said about that, because anybody that would download your movie illegally should immediately appreciate it for what it is and want an actual copy of it with the extras to be able to hand it to somebody and share it. Like that's what good content is. That it transcends being a past being available for free. Does that make sense? Like if you're a great band and you write an amazing album, people will want to see you live, not just download your music.
Exactly.
But that doesn't make it right by any means.
It's like you have to deserve it, that people want to pay for you. You have to deserve it.
Well, I think it kind of gives a check and balances the standards because, they can spend $1 billion making Pacific Rim, but if I can download it for free, that's kind of what you guys get.
True.
If you made a really awesome movie, then I would want that extended edition director's cut. But that's me. I'm like, I'm not bashing on that movie. That was just like the most expensive movie I can think of off the top of my head here recently.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it, but maybe I will. Yeah, and the other one, and in my DVD collection, you will find a lot of David Cronenberg and I don't know, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, very nice. Oh, I've actually met those guys. Well, the original artists from it who actually have an issue now with. But anyway, that was all a bad thing. Like I've gotten to talk to him at a convention. Speaking of which, have you ever done such a thing? Do you have conventions of pop culture things around you?
Conventions of pop culture things around me. What does that mean?
No, I apologize. Like here we have like what we call a Comic-Con, like San Diego Comic-Con, but there's smaller ones in different areas. San Diego Comic-Con is the big one over in San Diego, but there's smaller ones, and there is it's where a lot of independent filmmakers that will be able to get their word out.
I see. No, we don't have that here at all. Totally not. Like a fantasy genre here in the Netherlands is really, next door to that. We have a lot of cheese festivals here, but that's it. Yeah. That's really.
So you don't really your genre how does it fit in with your like local area? Like not something you would have at the local theater.
It doesn't match at all. It's really, we have a famous phrase in the Netherlands which is, just do normal, then you do normal. Just do normal, then you are crazy enough, and that's how the people are here. Just try to be normal and not doing crazy things. And yesterday I was shooting a trailer for a new movie which I'm preparing, and I just got a lot of resistance of, the people who are living around it, because it's just too weird. It was just too bizarre, and we don't like it.
And you don't want to scare them and have them like shut you down from filming because people are like, I don't know what it is, but I think it's satanic.
It's satanic, or it's just strange. That's even worse. Strange is if you're strange, that is really a bad thing. It's like you have a dangerous disease. Yeah,
like taken out of context where they don't even see the story. Not that the story necessarily would make it any better sometimes.
But that's what I like. I like to have fantasies. I like to be out of the box. That is my, being out of the comfort zone is my comfort zone, and I feel very trapped when I get into. That's what I discovered.
That's my next question is as an artist, as an actual like traditional artist in multiple mediums, how do you think that makes you different than a director that isn't an artist by traditional means?
Because I don't have any rules to follow, so I'm totally free. I don't have any, rules, so no boundaries. There is no, how do you say that, grammatical order for me that I have to follow, and I just can create my own. And I just follow my instinct and my gut feeling, and that's it. I trust completely on my instinct.
So as a director, you feel like you actually had the freedom to do what you wanted. Nobody came back over your storyboards and changed your characters.
No, absolutely. You just know what is right because you know it. And when it's right, you don't need an explanation. And too many people you're getting educated by finding an explanation for everything to make it logical. But I rather do the opposite to make it not logical. That is much more interesting because it leaves it open, it's more inviting for you to think about it or to feel it. It also creates space for an atmosphere. And when everything is rationalized, there's nothing left. And that is, I think, what you see at commercial movies, is also at the trend nowadays that everything has to be spelled out. And then you get this free act and a conflict structure, which is so predictable. And I think predictable is equal to boring. And that is what I definitely not want to be. I rather want to make a bad movie than a boring movie.
And sir, you did just that. All right, now this is the part where we're going to get into your movie.
Okay.
I was really curious about your past, and I saw all sorts of things that would impress me of your IMDb resume, and so that leads up to how we came to Frankenstein's Army,
Yes.
which is, here we have a World War II era Nazi exploitation found footage esque film, not about allies versus monsters, but the Soviets versus a interesting group of monsters. Much of this film is shot in like a first person perspective, and noticing that, like seeing it in that first person perspective, I honestly, maybe it was because of the Nazi exploitation. I thought of Wolfenstein 3D, like the old first person shooter, like the original first person shooter type of, like. And I was like, oh my goodness! Like it really I got that feel from it, and then in the more modern day would be the Call of Duty Nazi zombies type thing. I just wondered if you actually have even played either of those. You're not much of a gamer. You've never that's not really a familiar thing. Wolfenstein 3D or Call of Duty Nazi zombies.
I knew it because my kid brother was playing it a lot, but it didn't appeal to me at all at the time. Just later, when my kids were starting to play games like Silent Hill, and then I really thought it was very interesting. They play BioShock, a lot of Zelda stuff. They're very much in Asian games. Those games I'm very, very much intrigued by, but it didn't play any part by developing Frankenstein's Army. Just when in retrospect, I see similarities, and I think what I done new without being conscious about is that there's a whole part in the movie when you don't see any lead at all.
Yes.
It's just a camera. That's it.
Yes, it's just that first person perspective, and that's I guess I would say that's when the film peaks, when it gets to that.
Me too. That's my favorite part.
Honestly, it is. And so, like, the biggest question that everyone wants to know, and it's the thing that I guess starting the film off scares a person, especially a cinephile, was, oh my goodness, this is a found footage shaky cam film.
Yeah.
And it's scary because we've seen so many bad ones.
Yeah, true.
I honestly, on a third or fourth watch, I forget about it. At first, it's real noticeable at first, but then I kind of lose it, and then it really becomes endearing to the film. Like we on the podcast, we beat up on you a little bit about it and really kind of worried about it, but all in all, we ended up accepting it. Like
great to hear that.
It actually. You gave me more respect for such a thing. It really did. You're one of the few people I've seen do it well. And what was your decision to do that? Why was it you wanted to do that?
It was a very intuitive decision, because I think that when I would have chosen for the opposite, just shooting very nice pictures and do it the traditional way, I will lose a lot of authenticity. And I really wanted to be in the middle of it. A lot of times when I see a movie, it's all too distant. It's all too observed. And it doesn't get me into, the action. I want to feel the bullets flying around my ears. I want to be a part of the mission. I want to be a part of the battle. So that was the reason why I choose for this. And when it really becomes that, if he finally loses all the heroes and the only one left is the camera, and we just go discover this world. And are you still there? Because
yes. Absolutely. I'm lost in your. I'm agreeing with you. There's scenes of the film flashing through my head of basically the. I call it the bring out your dead scene. the bring out your dead,
yeah,
like
bring out,
when they start pushing the mining cart around and the bodies, and just like when we delve down into this lower level of hell, basically that's what I wanted to do. I want to descend, spiraling down in hell, layer after layer after layer, and going deeper into this madness until you find the Baron there. Even then, when we meet the Baron, he takes you even further down with his motivation. So I just want to end up in the lower layers of the Inferno. And what was... Well, I agree. I absolutely agree. Why did you pick Soviets over an Allied force to be the fodder for this?
Well, that's... sorry, I hear myself. Well, if I will have for the Americans or English, then it will be so, I've seen this before. And I thought to do the perspective of the Russians, which I think leaves open a lot of new possibilities for me to explore. Like, they come in the country and they just steal and they rape and they loot. And I thought, if I do this, and of course not only the Russians did it, everyone did it, but they are infamous for it, then I can show that there are no heroes in a wartime. I didn't want to do heroes. I want to have villains against villains.
Absolutely, you absolutely did that too, and that I wondered because you weren't supposed to. Nobody was the hero in this. You weren't supposed to fall in love with
there
the main
are
character.
No heroes. There's just a mission, and that's it.
The main character is the camera. The camera becomes the lead character because that's the perspective. It's us as a voyeur watching in on this.
Exactly. And that's also what I thought maybe will be cool if the audience will be part of it, but then also he is a part of it, and he is a dirty part of it because he is witnessing something. He's part of the plot. He's part of the the ugly deal.
Yes.
Yeah. And I thought that would be cool. No.
The special effects in this,
yes,
are amazing. Was everything a practical effect? Was there any actual digital effects in this?
We did some wire removals like that, and we added some muzzle flashes, and that's it. Everything was practical, and it was just working.
And who was the FX company that did it?
It's Unreal FX. It's Rogier and Carola Samuels, and they are from the Netherlands, but they worked on Lord of the Rings. And I met them because we were doing a commercial together, and I was walking into their space, and I saw this weird guy with a gas mask, totally like a freak from Freaks, and I thought, this is my world. This is my world. And he took it off because he was just, doing some weird stuff with latex and foam and whatever. And I looked around and I thought, I want to see your portfolio. And he thought the same about me. And we looked at our stuff and we said, we need to collaborate together. Doesn't matter what, we need to do something together. And then we made first promo of Worst Case Scenario just because we wanted to deliver something. I mean, they are just artists as well, They want to deliver and they want to share and they want to build. And
I did watch the Worst Case Scenario promo. I did get to see that, and that went badly, didn't this? That did not turn out, or did it?
No. And it all started with a fantasy. It was Worst Case Scenario was created like a living painting, actually, and we thought it was so received well that we thought, we can make a script, and then we had a script, and then we went to Cannes. And then we met those great producers, and they said, we give you 5 million. And then we opened the champagne, and then nothing happened.
Jeez. And
then we said, hey, what about our deal? And they said, oh, no, we cannot sell it, sorry. And then we thought, okay, can we have the rights back then? And they said, no, not really.
No, we've already put too much money into it. Like, we're going to keep it. Okay, another question I have for you, sir, is the creatures in this, your monsters really sell this movie. It just by seeing them, it like reminds me of like your the title cover, the movie poster. That alone makes you want to see this, just like the old VHS box art back in the day, which I was always a fan of. How long have some of these creatures existed? Or do you have like a little black book with his drawings in it, with like some of these that have existed in your mind for decades?
I remember that remark from you, and I was thinking about it. Is that so? I've got the feeling that I designed the creatures for this movie, and I started to think, and then I discovered, no. I'm having those creatures in my head for a long time. Maybe I already started to doing them when I was a teenager. I was dressing myself up in like proto-zombots, with all kind of weird things attached to my body. And I also have pictures of this. And it's just an extension of that. So I've been developing those characters just over the years and over the years and over the years. And indeed, I have pictures and sketches and a lot of books with scribbles and studies. I've got it all. I've got it all collected. So to answer your question, yes, I have books with a lot of pre-designs of Frankenstein's Army. But Frankenstein's Army, everything in Frankenstein's Army is designed especially for Frankenstein's Army. But it has a long history of development. But that's how creative mind works. You fall in love with something, and it becomes a part of your life.
And it evolves with you throughout the years too, as you redraw it or rethink it.
It evolves and it changes, and but it stays. It all came from the same tree.
Is there a particular monster that's your favorite?
Yeah. My favorite is the walking trash bin with the two legs and.
Oh yes, I love that one. He's like almost like a cauldron, but yeah, he's a walking body part trash bin. It was awesome.
It's like R2-D2 from hell.
Yes, I like for whatever bizarro reason you decided to put it in there. I love the woman's head and the bear's body. And the teddy bear body is awesome. I've got a theory
for that. I wanted to do something very disturbing, just like a little detail. I wanted to do a cameo with Brian Usna in it. But when we got there, we didn't have any money to fly Brian Usna over. So we used the female head of Unreal. So what you see is Carola Brockhoff, and she is the wife of Rogier Samuels, who did the effects. And I think this works way better. It works way better.
It was awesome and creepy. I mean, I hit pause and took a picture of it with my cell phone.
It's one of my favorites as well. But for me, it almost falls out of the designs because it's so simple,
Oh, but it's just so bizarre. Like you could tell that the Frankenstein doctor, he's just doing just crap. He's just sewing shit together to see if it'll work.
And it works. Hey, it works. And you know what? This is a bit of the spirit of the movie because I wanted to combine things that are uncombinable. And so is this movie, like an army, World War II, and we have Frankenstein. Two totally different genres. And I thought it was a challenge just to see if it fits. And somehow it does, and somehow it doesn't. And that, I think, creates a great tension. And I think this is all came together in the teddy bear with the female head, It's a non-combination, which is a very good combination, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Oh, no, it worked perfectly. I didn't think it was, even if it felt out of place, that made it even more in place. It deserved to be there.
It breaks it open. It just creates more variety, and it tells also something about the doctor. It didn't have many time to explain what he is, so I needed to show just weird stuff to show him what he is. Oh. And also, I like the piece where he's boiling the soup. You see the soup on his stove, and you see his socks hanging there on the wire. He's just a normal being.
Right. This next question is from Kyle Poling from Bloodbaths and Boomsticks at blogspot.com. They also reviewed your movie. He said it was his number one favorite movie of the year until he had just recently saw something from the 70s. which whatever it is, still a huge compliment. But he was blown away by it. He wondered, because this is the way our Hollywood is. If they offered you, like, this is getting ready to release, it's going to gain steam. It's going to gain cult status. I absolutely believe this is going to become a cult movie. In 20 years, this is going to be bigger than the last year of it being released, you know, or of a small release. He wants to know if Hollywood offered a truck full of money, like Hollywood likes to do, to buy the rights for it. Would you sell it for Hollywood to remake and bastardize? I did paraphrase that, but anyway, but that's the idea. Would you sell to Hollywood if Hollywood wanted to remake this film? Would you do it? Would you let them do it for the right price?
Well, I don't have. I can't sell it because it's not my movie anymore.
My bad, my fault. Yeah, that's that. So somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, but if let's say, if I just can change your question a little,
sure,
I will. If they will ask me to direct it, I will say yes.
Ooh, I like that as well. That's actually way better.
And if they just do it, then just it's not my problem.
Absolutely. I think that's. And do you when you were making this, do you ever feel like that, like you were making like this is going to be a cult classic? This is going to be up there with some of the big ones. People are going to dress up as my monsters.
I never had that feeling. I was just hoping that I would never ever, that I was just doing a good job on it, and I was those zombies or zombots became so normal to me that at the end I thought, oh, let's hope that they are cool enough, or someone likes them, or I was really afraid that no one would like them, and just ignore the whole movie. Like I'm being ignored in the Netherlands.
Is that where the Wobbert or the not? What was the one of your shorts? What was his name? What was the name of your character with sitting by the phone? He's ready to take your call. I apologize. I don't remember the name of your short that you made.
That phone call.
Roderick.
Roderick. Yeah, is answering your call. Yeah.
But like I mean, that's the way it feels. That's the way it feels when you make something and put it on the internet. Like, hey, go ahead and email me your opinion, whether it's good or bad, and you just sit there and wait, and it never happens. People, you can see people that watch it, but nobody ever responds. Yeah, unless they hate you.
Yeah, or they just ignore you. That's even better. It's even worse. I mean, that's even worse. Right. Being ignored, you can better get bad news than no news. And with Frankenstein's Army, it's really out of control because I got so many requests for interviews and signing signatures, and I'm really don't know what's happening, really.
Well, I tell you, I appreciate you giving me the time, sir. Like that really makes my day. Like, I mean, I've interviewed some other famous people, but like I really had some really good questions, or some questions I really wanted answered about you being an artist and your background, and I got all of them answered. Like, and when some of it I had thought, I really. That's what I'd wondered.
What my sense with you and the program is that you are really an honest guy, and are really criticizing as well. I don't need anyone who only says it's awesome this, it's awesome that. I rather really want to think about it from reality, and that's what inspiring me, because then you're forced to think about it, and then. I like it really.
Have you thought about, or is there any plans for a director's cut?
Well, I think the director's cut will be even shorter. No, I don't have any plans. Frankly, I don't know what to change, because what you see is a director's cut.
I see.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I mean, there wouldn't be anything I would change. I would add some audio commentaries.
That will be awesome. Yeah, that will be great. And I think, if you do audio commentary, we have to do something really clever.
Oh, it would be like it would be it would be awesome. Like, and we'll plan that out later, sir. But that's just a little teaser for the fans at home. We might put together something fun for.
And also, we should include someone who hates it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and no insult, but that shouldn't be hard. It's easy to find people that hate things. They're everywhere. So.
I should put my mother then. I will ask my mother.
Oh, but yeah, she'd just be a lot of finger wagging, I'm guessing.
Nah, that's true.
I guess my last question is, what's next?
I don't know, but I'm enterprising a lot. Yesterday, I just shot a trailer for a story we are working on. As a matter of fact, my wife wrote it.
Excellent.
And next Sunday, I'm going to shoot a second trailer for a other script. And those two. I don't know if I have time to talk about it or not. I don't know.
Well, go ahead. Go right ahead, sir. That's what I'm curious about. Like, yes, I want to hear what is in the future for Richard Raaphost. Raaphost.
Well, the first script we shot yesterday is about a Dutch legend, which is about... we have a phrase, and it's this. If you are a naughty boy, then your hands will grow above the grave. So this is the phrase. So... Oh yeah, they grow above the grave begging for mercy. And you can see those fingers because now they look like mushrooms. So this is all, Dutch, I don't know, weird phrases.
Right, like, or nursery rhyme or like folks tales.
Yeah. So this inspired me to think about a story. What if you eat those pedestals? Then you will be haunted by those evil kids buried in the moor, because they will possess you. They will become a part of you.
And it becomes a delicacy amongst the rich.
Yeah, the basis for a story we wrote. And yesterday we were filming a scene where you see those kids and also where you see the victim who ate of those pedestals. And where you see that he is haunted by those evil children. And the title of this project is Children of the Moor. It's, So that is Project A. And Project B is the opposite. I've got inspired last year about the discovery of the Higgs boson. In Geneva, in Switzerland, they discovered this new particle.
Yes, I heard something about that on NPR, our national public radio over here.
Yeah,
they found like a new particle, right, or a new element to the periodic table.
Yes, and it's called the Higgs boson, the Higgs particle, and they also call it the God particle because this particle creates mass of matter to everything around us. It's just everything,
right?
Like air, wood, your flesh, the steel, and of course they try to manipulate this particle because when you can manipulate it, you can create everything. In theory,
which makes it the God particle.
Exactly. So in this script, they catch the Higgs boson and they learn how to manipulate it, but then everything goes wrong because the Higgs, everything, the whole reality field will be turned inside out. So we will be infected by antimatter. So everything which gets in contact with the Higgs boson becomes antimatter and it spreads like a virus. And that's what you see, that everything becomes Higgs. And I'm going to shoot a trailer next Sunday where we see someone turning into Higgs. And because it's so hard to explain or to imagine how it looks like, I'm going to film it. And it's all practical.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know what? Like this could be this is something like Aleister Crowley would have written. You're gonna open a vortex into a whole nother fucking dimension, right? And you're gonna be sucked into there with your camera.
Yeah,
and like we're only going to be gone for like half a millisecond, but our equipment will pick it up, and you're going to come back with like 150 hours of footage. Starved to death, dehydrated, like missing limbs, and like, but you'll never be. Whoever was over there with the camera will never be able to speak again,
or an extra limb. Yeah, but it's true, and it's. But this case, it comes to us. It comes into our reality. You're not going to sucked into them, but it's leaking into ours.
Ooh.
And I'm really excited about this one because we are going to use new techniques, or now old techniques, but transformed it into new ones. And we've done some tests about transforming. We created a coffee cup, and we were transforming it into Higgs matter without any practical stuff, and it worked. It worked, and I'm not going to spoil how we did it.
No.
It was very simple. but if you see it, you really think, that you will be really figuring out how we did.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep me posted. I would love to, break that trailer to the world. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it will be. I think we're going to shoot it next Sunday, and I think it will be ready 1 month from now. I think 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, is there any last thing you would like to say to your fans out there? Some people that have listened all the way to this point. You want any personal messages you like to send out there to them?
Ooh, that's a very hard one, man. I'm just so much. I'm so overwhelmed by all the reactions, and I never ever could dream that it will be appreciated so much as it does now. And this really is for me the reward for fighting so many years for it. It's really I'm really impressed. I'm deeply impressed by my fans.
It's funny you said that, sir, because I feel like this interview is the exact same thing kind of for me, because I have been podcasting for over 2 years, and I have gone through thick and thin, and when it would have been so much easier to give up and do something easier, not do anything at all, I kept doing it, and then to have you listen to my show, and that I feel like that's a big payoff for me. Maybe not financially wise, but like as a personal pat on the back or an ego booster, it sure has been nice having you on the show.
Thank you, man, and I love your show, and I really I had a great time, and it's so much fun to listen to it, really, and it's inspiring. It inspires me.
Excellent. Well, I thank you.
Me, Lewis.
Thank you. Oh well, you inspire me too, sir. And you really have. You made my day. And this is going to be a great interview for the world to listen to. And I thank you for coming on the show.
Cool, man.
And there you have it, folks. That concludes our interview. Pretty awesome, huh? And just like I promised on the website, there is a very special gift Mr. Raaphost gave to me. I have the storyboards to the intro of Frankenstein's Army. You won't find them on Google Images. They are kind of an exclusive for us. So go to traumaticcinematic.com/secrets, all lowercase. And you can be one of the few to actually see the storyboards. There's 9 of them. So check it out and enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, follow us on Twitter @TC Podcast Crew. Our website, obviously, traumaticcinematic.com, and we're on Facebook, facebook.com/traumaticcinematic. I'm on the internet.